Welcome to our fall adventure to Oktoberfest and Switzerland. Started our trip on a Saturday afternoon on Iceland Air with a quick 50-minute hop over in Reykjavik to get to Zurich. After arriving in Zurich, we waited around for a little bit before we caught our train to go to Munich. Instead of flying directly to Munich, we went to Zurich because it was quite a bit cheaper because Oktoberfest was where we were going and the flights were quite a bit more expensive into Munich at this time of year. Backtracking to Iceland Air a little bit, we actually ended up with a 50-minute layover and were quite concerned when we found out we had to go through customs to enter Europe in Iceland. We figured we wouldn't have to go through customs until we got to Zurich. However, in Iceland, it took us less than 5 minutes to get through customs, about the same amount of time as it took in Belize. So between getting off the plane and going through customs and crossing the airport in Iceland, we still had 20 minutes left over. We wanted to give ourselves plenty of time to navigate the airport and get to the train, so we ended up with a 2-hour layover in the Zurich airport until we got onto our train to go to Munich. When we got to Zurich, we decided we needed to search for some food because Iceland Air doesn't serve food on the plane, and it was a pretty long flight. After rummaging around the local grocery stores and walking past a bunch of booths, we ended up at a local coffee shop and got some breakfast items. After relaxing a little bit at the coffee shop, we jumped on the elevator right next door to it and went down to the train station just below. While we had bought first-class tickets, we didn't make a reservation, which we later found out was a bit of a mistake. The seat reservation system on Swiss Rail is really confusing, and it's not obvious when you go to sit down on a seat whether it's been reserved or not. So while we were seated in first class with a first-class ticket, someone had reserved the only open seats that we had taken and had to kick us out of our seats that we had picked. So the second half of our journey ended up being in second class, which was just fine. It was comfortable, but it was kind of a waste of money to spend on first class without booking a reservation. Once we got into the countryside, we got the iconic views of Swiss rolling hills with cows. This is a quick glance of what first class looks like on a Swiss train, along with the destination board that's really handy. We had a train transfer in St. Gallen, and we only had 10 minutes to catch our next train. Luckily, Swiss Rail is to the minute on time usually, so we had plenty of time to make the 10-minute walk to get to our next train, which is just on the next platform. Most of the video we took from the train was actually in Switzerland, even though Germany was about half of the trip. The reason for this was that Switzerland had the beautiful rolling hills with the cows and the towns, whereas Germany mostly had cornfields. We got a quick glimpse of first class earlier, and here's a quick glimpse of what second class looks like. It's still pretty comfortable and has plugins and everything that you would need. As we got closer to Munich, we passed more train stations and small towns. We arrived a little after 7, took a quick taxi cab, and ended up at our hotel around 7:30. So we're at our hotel in Munich, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough of our room. So when we walk in the door, we've got a nice big living room here, and directly to our left we have a bathroom that's pretty big, got a cracked basin, huge tub that's really hard to get in and out of because it's like 3 feet tall, and an old-fashioned bidet. And if we go to the right, we actually have a little kitchenette here. We could serve ourselves drinks at our little bar with stools, and we have dishes and everything so we could make food or warm food up. So that's kind of cool. And then we have here our climate control, which does absolutely nothing. No matter what buttons you press, nothing changes. So it's warm in here. So as we walk in, we can see that in our living room, we have a nice view to not so great street, but it's fine. And then we've got the world's most uncomfortable couch with armrests that are pillows that move, and yeah, really old chairs and a little TV we haven't even tried using yet, as you can tell from the water bottles in front of it. Go here, across from our bar, we have another place where we've opened another window because it is ridiculously warm in here. There's no AC. And then we've got our bed that's actually 2 twins stuck together. And we've got a closet. Oh, in this little cubby hole here that has a TV wedged in sideways, only because the cubby hole is too small for the TV and you can't actually watch the TV basically because it's sideways. And that is basically the walkthrough of our room. While we were pretty exhausted after settling into our room, we decided we needed to go get some dinner. We hadn't had any proper food in almost 20 hours, so we ended up going to a local Vietnamese place. We went there because it was close, and it was still open at that time of night on a Sunday, and it ended up being a vegetarian place, but we both enjoyed it quite a bit. That ends our travel day, and then tomorrow we'll head over to Oktoberfest.